Lovely. Hello, everyone, and welcome to 2024. Happy New Year. I think the 3rd of January, we meanwhile have once covered the whole globe. So everyone arrived in 2024. We are not living in the future. My name is Max. I will be your host for today. I'm also the co-chair of the Technical Advisory Group. Very important. This is CNCF meeting, therefore it's falling under the code of conduct. You can also find the link in the documents if you haven't read the code of conduct yet so far. The code of conduct, if you boil it down, it just says like being nice, awesome, and fantastic to each other, and just have a good, great time and share your ideas, thoughts, and yeah, everything what else is needed for make this meeting a great event. With that, do we have any new joiners who were not there before and started with with a year with us?
I'm sort of new. I mean, I've done much last year, but I'm looking forward to start with a bang and not a little.
Great, fantastic. Great to have you, Alessandro. And anyone else? Doesn't look like. Cool. Else, I always can highlight to go to our website. You can find it through the GitHub, or maybe someone can post the link fast to the chat, where we have a couple of good resources where you can get started. I think we'll be also like a starting block soon. A few more ideas, what we are currently working on. So we'll find there a couple of nice starting points. Other than that, working groups. Do we have anyone from comms in today? Looks like, well, I think it's still vacation season. Then moving on to the work group green reviews. I think Christina, we have you. We have Ross. Any updates? Were you productive between the years, or did you take, hopefully and finally, some rest?
Yes, Max. I can add something for green reviews. Yeah, we did take a break. We missed the kind of meeting in between Christmas and New Year because everyone was going to recharging their batteries. But so just to give some context on the working group, so we're providing a kind of allowing projects to assess their sustainability footprint and also to improve that footprint. And to do that, we've got a bare metal cluster that Equinix kindly provide, where we want to capture sustainability metrics, particularly using Kepler to get energy consumption. And Falco is our kind of Pathfinder project that we're working with to kind of work through the pipeline. And our current goal is to have a POC for KubeCon in Paris that we can demo and get more feedback on. And then we can see how we can kind of onboard more projects. That current focus is on the POC. We're making pretty good progress working through the automation. We just have one piece of access left, which is we need a necessary bucket for OpenTofu, which Leo's been helping with to kind of expedite that. And then that will wrap up the cluster automation. We're using Flux to automate the cluster itself, and that's going pretty well. Kepler is merged. I debunkerized that, which was great to have that in. The next part is to have Prometheus. And then also we're working with the Falco team. They're preparing a repo that we will deploy via Flux with Falco and also kind of a synthetic workload. So we're progressing that. And our next meeting is next week. And I think then we'll also kind of try and wrap up the automation and start planning for how we can actually start capturing metrics and start doing the fun parts.
Fantastic. That sounds like a lot of work, Ross. Sure, you take some break. Sounds more like you spent the time.
It took a bit of figuring out the automation puzzle, but we're getting there, and I'm just going to help us kind of moving forwards. And it's nice to have those first PRs getting merged.
Okay, nice, fantastic. Is there anything what you're looking for where you need some help? Do you need some additional helping hands?
Just really on the S3 bucket, but we've got that in progress. And then also people are interested as well, I would say, to kind of join kind of next week's meeting as well, because we're at the stage where we want to start planning the pipeline, how we can actually start capturing metrics. But yeah, I think we're in a pretty good place and kind of looking forward to moving to the next phase where we're actually gathering metrics. But yeah, if anyone's got any questions on that, please chat.
Meeting. It will be the 10th, right?
Yes, next Wednesday at the same time.
Same time, same link, different doc. Perfect. Very great. I lost the chat. Not that there haven't some questions. Doesn't look like. Okay, cool. Nice. Perfect. Thank you very much again, Ross, for the update. I think that's progressing very, very well. Then I think I can give a short update on the topic of the learning path. Except we have some of the folks in the meeting from the last time, but I don't see right now. Then I will give the update. Learning path topic. So it's one of the ideas which we also wrote it and noted down a couple of months, maybe even a year back. You see the GitHub issue is a little bit older. What it is about. So we were thinking about how we can get started, or from which perspective we can get started in helping someone to learn more about how to build sustainable platforms. So we know there is from the Green Software Foundation a nice comprehensive training, but it is a good starting point, but maybe doesn't answer all the questions which, let's say, a DevOps or platform engineer might have. And DevOps and platform engineers are the target group, which we have defined in the last 2 meetings as the go-to group, which we want to design this learning path for, because most likely the most projects will not start by 0. They will have some platforms. They will run maybe on a cloud provider. They will maybe run on their own environment. But they will not start like with a full green field approach. And so this is the idea, to give them practically a guidance on resources, what to look at, what to consider, where to start, what can be implemented, so that it's possible to take all of these and slowly put it into operation, make your own planning, make your own realization out of it. We also discussed about what we don't look at in the learning paths. Web development, the UI topic, we exclude because it's maybe not our main and core topic. We also exclude some of the specific domains. So nothing what is running on Edge, IoT, and also like AI, ML workload, because it's a super hot topic. We currently exclude out of it. We might give some references here because also there, the Green Software Foundation has done already some recommendations, especially for machine learning workload, for example, but it should be also not here the focus. And what we have primarily done in the last meeting is to go and define more the structure, which you can see right in front of you. I hope my screen didn't froze because this happened already a few times today. Where we have practically 5 to 6 key topics. An introduction, obviously, to catch up everyone again. What we do not want to redo here is like to come back like why we have to do it, but more like to pointing out to different resources which explain the problem. And from there, we broke it down to 5 to the 5 pillars of assessment and measure. So raising the awareness, to the level of strategy and architecture, because I think this is very often missed to discuss on, right? So you can start thinking very early about what are the guiding principles to build a green architecture? What are the relevant thought process behind it? Maybe even going a little bit more further and think about already the purchasing process and so on, to add there some requirements for your vendors, and to select, because of that, maybe some tools. Then we have a very, very large chapter. Maybe we have to break it up, but we will see this in maybe one of the next meetings about the optimization and optimization and application services, which boils everything around the scaling, the CI/CD topics, defining the processes, optimizing scheduling, and all this interplay between the application and the infrastructure and optimize the resource utilization. And then the final two topics is on the one hand side, the operations part. We understand here more, not like how to implement maybe monitoring and logging, but more about like, how do we ensure the proper cleanup of infrastructure? How do we prevent sprawling in the infrastructure, in the cluster? How we also can optimize more like the monitoring logging systems. It's something which we have discussed recently with the end user. They have multiple very large, several hundred terabyte full logging systems, and they found out 80% of it is trash. We don't need it. So it's capacity which is used but really not needed. And yeah, then last but not least, the personal development, how you can transition into this more greener perspective of the cloud native engineering, how I can become an internal ambassador, which knowledge I need to gain, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I think that's a little bit longer update, but that's what we have done in the last two meetings. We sorted and structured this a little bit left and right. And I think for the next step, we will set up also a more frequent meeting to get more details to the single chapters, and then moving on to collecting the proper resources, start the writing, and so on and so forth. Again, it's not the main target to write here again a full book, but really to help having a structured learning, right? That what you can find in a, I don't know, proper Udemy and whatsoever video course where you have like step X, Y, Z, do this and this and this. Here you can find this and this. Any questions? I can also drop you a link in the chat to the document if you want to take some look into or drop your notes and ideas into it. And with that, coming back, I will add later on. No, pass. Perfect. I see we have a couple of new joiners also meanwhile. I will also drop you again the link to our meeting notes for today. If you haven't, please feel free to add yourself to the document. And with that, I would like to jump over to the open items. You can find them in our GitHub repository. When you go to the project, then you come to the project dashboard. And you can find here currently a lot of the things which we're discussing about, which we're thinking about, and which we want to work on. So also for you, if you want to contribute more proactively or find a topic where you would like to jump into, then this is a good place to find maybe a topic which you like on the one hand side. And on the other hand side, if you have a great idea, which we haven't formulated anywhere somewhere, you can also add here a proposal. You can see this like they have this brackets with a suggestion or proposal in front. The only difference between a proposal and suggestion is for the one you say, I would like to take the responsibility for driving this topic if you don't mind. And for the other one is like, hey, this is a fantastic idea. Please think about it, but I don't have currently time for it. So that's just the difference for both things. Perfect. Green reviews workgroup, we got already the update. So this is fine. Learning paths, we currently are work in progress. Proof of environmental sustainability activities. Yeah, this is practically the issue for the foundation of the Green Reviews work group, thinking about to implement an approach for measure for the open source tools, how good or bad or excellent they are with the resource utilization and having reduced power consumption. Tracking the environment sustainability. All right. So this one might be interesting for a couple of you. This is one of the a little bit also older ticket, as you can see, almost more than a year old, which is about collecting Kubernetes practices, best practices, better to say, on improving the Kubernetes in its utilization of resources and helping applications to become more aware of it. Yet we have collected a couple of ideas and thoughts and inputs, so there's a very long discussion going on. Please feel free to have a look on it. Where we, because the discussion restarted here a few weeks ago, we now would like to give a little bit more push into this direction. But we have also to sort out where does it play together, for example, with the learning path, because it has some similarities, and I think it's good if we do not make work double, but it's a good starting point. And yeah, feel free to have a look at it. Feel free to have a look at the discussion, and maybe we can build on your experience and how to get better here. Then another ticket which we want to give some rebirth, so to say, is about the environmental sustainability majority model. Now, there are a few things around it which you need to be aware of. So first, the Cartographos group that develop anyhow a cloud native majority model, which you also can get as a very nice handout at the KubeCon. But they also have a nice GitHub repository and website about it. So one of the idea was like, okay, how we maybe can extend this existing model just by implementing a green eco, however you want to call it, pillar into this cloud native model. Besides of that, there is a few inputs. There's a green soft maturity metrics, which could be, I don't want to say conflicting, that sounds too negative, but maybe is a good basis to put it together. Because we never should forget that we do this from a cloud native perspective here. And then also recently in the end of last year, at the KubeCon North America, there was an update on the cloud native majority model. I had a look on it. There's no change which right now would have an impact on the environmental sustainability majority model. What we're looking here for is, in the end, also someone who likes to drive it and to take this into your hands and start working on this more proactively, because right now it's like a little bit dragged along. We are happy to support this from the chair and technical leadership, but it's difficult to get this also right now started, because I think the key priority is laying currently on the Green Reviews working group, and to support here also as much as possible to have a very relevant implementation available for the KubeCon. All right. Are there so far any questions? I don't see a raised hand and nothing in the chat. Cool. And maybe last but not least, one of the things I also want to mention, if you are a passionate writer for blog posts, here's a very great place if you have a very good idea about how any sustainability related topic that fits into our context. We can publish it here. We can also reshare it over the CNCF and yeah, create a little bit more outreach. There was recently a very nice and interesting article from Joe about using build packs and how this might affect, for example, the efficiency by building container images by just replacing single layers instead of rebuilding always the whole stack. I think that's a very, very interesting approach. You should have a look on it. On the other hand side, again, call for action. If you have any great idea, feel free to propose it as an issue in our GitHub repository, and then hopefully soon we can publish it on our blog. Very similar to that, we also just last year recently merged a kind of glossary for our website, which should give some insight, some examples for the key terminologies which we might use. This doesn't claim to be a full glossary in regards of ESG, just to be clear here. It's more about the wording which is relevant for the cloud native perspective of environmental sustainability. If you miss something here, if there's some information which is maybe incorrect or outdated, always feel free to open PR and to update the glossary. It's also just a starting point. And yeah, last but not least, we need to maintain a little bit our events. If you have anything which you would like to add, I think there's already an issue open. Let me check it. For updating all the upcoming events for the next year. I think we're talking here clearly about the KubeCon Europe. Also NA will be there. Maybe the Open Source Summit could be relevant. And I have seen recently that there will be also a few other new regional events, which we can put here into. I think there's one also happening here in Germany. I think the Eco Developer Summit, Eco Developer Conference. Have to look it up. Again, call to action. If you have heard something about a relevant, cool event that plays well into this direction, drop it, update the page, make the community aware of it, and yeah, through awareness, I think we can reach more than silently posted somewhere else. Alrighty, with that, do we have any other topic? We have a few open discussions.
Max, I would maybe want to add to the awareness part, like if you want something, if some specific content to be shared in our tag env accounts, please tag me directly on any GitHub issues or wherever you are talking about this piece of content so that I am aware of that, so that I could add it to the queue, or eventually just reach out if I am not available for some reason. You can also reach out to the comms working group so that they can either add it to the scheduling content queue themselves or make me aware about it. But if you would like to spread awareness via our tag env accounts, it would be great if you could just directly tag one of us who does the social media content administration, so that sometimes we are not able to grasp all of the things happening. So it would be really helpful to get that input through other contributors as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for posting all the time the nice reminders about our tech meetings.
My pleasure.
With that, Ryan.
Yes. Firstly, I'm impressed with the amount of people arriving on the 3rd of January. That's impressive. Reason for my visit today, I've been here once or twice before. I'm with the Linux Foundation for CNCF, helping to sort out and organize the tags. So what I've been doing the last month is go through tag repos, go through CNCF DOC repo for tags, and look at areas to improve. Firstly, because environmental tag is the newest tag. It's pretty well organized and the documents are pretty much in sync. But what I found with a lot of the older tags, there is a lot of places where documentation, leadership, the content of the charter is getting out of sync as things age out. One example is your charter is listed under the CNCF TOC tags. There is a charter for environmental as well as inside your repo. For environmental, that's perfectly in sync because you still remember you've got the two. But for other tags that are 3 and 4 and 5 years old, kind of the tribal knowledge got lost and some of those documents are getting out of sync. So one of the things, and also the same happens with leadership. Leadership are listed in some cases in the charter, locally in the charter at the CNCF, in the README, and on the tag TOC README as well. And those are very difficult to keep in sync. So one of the things that we're busy working on, we created the PR inside the TOC repo that will clean that up a little. And we copied all the leadership from all the tags into a document with the tech leads to have a single source of truth for leadership. The other thing that also gets out of sync, which I don't think I've seen in your charter, I can't remember, I've looked through so many documents, is projects that are specifically listed as these are the tags projects that is our projects of interest. Those also go out of sync because of the speed at which projects get added and because it's listed in several places. So in the next year, I'll visit again with proposals and hopefully picking up most of the work myself. I'm not coming here to create work, I'm coming here to help, where we basically remove lists of leadership in several places and just hyperlink to one source of truth. Same for projects, same for charter, have the charter only in one place. So just a heads up, that is coming. There's no issues open for that yet. But as we progress, I'll bring some issues and hopefully the PRs for fixing it as well. And the aim of that is looking to the future that you don't get out of sync and confuse contributors with information that's not the same everywhere.
Thank you very much for this. And I hope you will not have too much effort with us.
Yes, you are very well organized because you're such a new tag. So let's all prevent things going out of sync by streamlining. But I'll get back with specifics later on. I thought I'll just drop it on you early in the new year.
Maybe we need some spring cleaning tickets and some winter cleaning tickets frequently to stay in sync and stay updated.
Yes, that'll also help with. Then another topic that came out of the last TOC meeting is the review of charters, which again, because you're brand new and you just thought about your charter, it's not really applicable. So it's I don't think anything around that's going to happen here, but for some of the other tags, they will have to rethink, is the charter that we created 5 years ago and never reviewed as a whole still valid? Is it still where we're going? Should we expand? Should we retract a little? And a very good point that was made yesterday in one of the other tag meetings. The point of that is not review scope to fit available people, but review scope to fit the purpose of the tag, because everybody's understaffed. So don't down the scope to fit the people, but make sure the scope either need to expand or retract according to what the tag is representing. The other thing that would be important the new year, CNCF launched the Landscape 2, which links the tags to their projects. The filter system is not exactly working yet. From what I understand, it is actually a screenshot at this stage. So it's like they pretend to have filters, but they say they're working on to make them live filters. So if you see top left there, the pink button that says filters, then you can actually filter by your tag, and environmental is not there. So we need to.
We don't have yet a project.
If you don't have linked projects, that's probably why might you have projects specifically linked in future? That
I hope so. I hope so. We know that there's a couple of projects in the process. I mean, like for example, a good example would be Kepler. But then it's in this case, for example, the discussion: is it an observability tool because it measures, obviously, or is it an tech tool for the environmental sustainability? But I think this we will discuss then when they are more processed through the whole steps. I mean, currently they are linked here.
Which also brings up another topic. One of the things that is a consideration for the landscape is specifically the topic that got raised with around AI, because AI stretch across several tags. And there is the AI working group would actually be spread across 2 tags. So you probably would have with the filters in future metadata that points that if you filter by apps, you'll get some, and if you filter by environmental, you could get the same, or observability. It could be a environmental observability. So you'll get the filter under observability, but you also get it when you filter by environmental. So that's also something that they still need to work on. So most of that not particularly interesting for your group, but be aware I'll come around to help.
Thank you very much.
That's all.
I think we will be very happy to find our project one day, but yet the market is moving fast on this.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Ryan. Alessandro. CNCF TAG ENV Sustainability Week.
Yeah, so I think it's time to start thinking about it. So I proposed myself to help coordinate the Sustainability Week for 2024. So better to start nice and early. And so this week, or maybe for the next meeting, I don't know, what do you think is going to be the next step? Like coming up with a plan, marketing, communication plan, so people can get on board. Last year, it was great, of course. We had, I don't remember how many events, but if we start early, we will have even more, right? So we can advertise it and get even more traction. What's your
I would say put yourself forward for it. I think we don't have yet an issue. I need to scroll through it, but I couldn't find one which is labeled for the Sustainability Week 2024.
I see it on my screen on top. Wow.
Sustainability contributing fast.
Was tracking event cloud native. Yeah, that you just over it. Number 290.
290. See, then I'm not currently signed in. I need to add a proper label to it so that I'm not so blind and find it. Perfect. You put yourself already up. Yeah.
Can I come with a suggestion for you, Alessandro? I think it's super awesome that you want to step in and take the overall responsibility. I would probably recommend also to have a check-in with the main organizers for the previous one. I think Leo coordinated most of it overall on all the areas. So I would recommend just so that you get a quick summary or catch up with him. Maybe it can be an open meeting for those who may be potentially interested as well to join you as co-organizers, so that you can get some introduction on how to do things step by step and where do you start and that type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can, I mean, we can learn from last year what went well, what went wrong. Was there a post-mortem eventually meeting? Maybe I can watch the recording or something. But
there was a retrospective.
I'll find it, put it together, and talk to Leo. Have a meeting with Leo. Sure. It's not here, so I suppose he's still enjoying some time off.
Yeah, but just if any questions, you can also please reach out to me. I can help coordinate if needed to get you and others who may be interested to organize up and running quickly. So if you need help finding any links, just let me know in Slack or somewhere so that it's open for others as well to see.
Yeah, maybe we can have a dedicated channel on Slack. I don't know if there was one for 2023.
Yeah, we can.
I'll come up with the.
We can set up one
to the issue, but yeah, I just wanted to make myself visible and saying that I would like to take care of this part. Yeah.
Very cool.
Fantastic. Awesome. Cool. Thank you very much. I linked also the issue here already in the document. If anyone else is interested in joining Alessandro, just reach out to him. You can reach him on the Slack channel. And maybe also vice versa, Alessandro, you can also just post a notification on the Slack channel that you're going to or that you would like to pick up this topic and that you're looking for some companions to tackle that until somewhere in the mid of next year. No, this year, already 23. Hopefully not next year, just this year. Cool. Awesome. And then there was one question from Valeria about the blog, about what would be the right topics for writing about it at our blog. In general, you can always say, as long as it stays in the context of cloud native and is related to it, then it is the right one. So there are also a lot of topics which are more far away from it. The similar process we had, for example, for the learning path, processing through like what makes sense, maybe what doesn't make sense. In terms of like, okay, maybe UI is not our key topic in the cloud native environment, or yeah, for example, also the web development is maybe not a key topic here. But whenever it fits somewhere in this very large landscape of cloud native, then I think it is right. Ross.
Yes, thanks, Matt. My point wasn't actually directly related to this. I was just going to highlight as well, we've got the brainstorming discussion issue, which I think has got like a lot of like interesting ideas, for the new year. I just posted in chat, just to give people kind of visibility if they haven't seen that. Because I think also we're planning on having a session on that at some point to kind of go through some of the ideas. But I think there's some really nice ones there, so just wanted to highlight that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. That's this one where we currently collect all sorts of ideas for the next year, what we could work on, what we could set up in addition. Very great is also that we have here people from other communities coming in, proposing ideas. So very relevant to have a look at this discussion. Thank you. Link added to the document. I will add also here later the proper answer to it. All right. We're very good in time. Is there from any one of you yet another question or topic you would like to highlight or bring up? Last chance. Perfect. Looks like. Then again, thank you very much for participating for our first meeting for the year. I think we will slowly ramp up the more active part within the next weeks, when also we have more people coming back from their well-deserved winter holidays. There will be also then soon the update and the meeting reminder for the Green Reviews work group. Again, meeting next week on the 10th. I'm going to post also an update for the Learning Pass meeting, which is a little bit out of this sync schedule because there's no other Wednesday in the week than this one which we have. And yeah, Alessandro also going to kick off the discussion on the Cloud Native Sustainability Week. And with that, again, Happy New Year. I wish you a great and successful year. May the planet be with you, and see you latest in 2 weeks for the next tech meeting on the, I believe, 17th of January. With that, thank you again. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, bye.